Hi, my name is Shawn Shaler. This is my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter, and we're here today to talk to you about two different episodes of Avatar The Last Airbender. We are in Book 2 Earth, and I say episode, I should say chapter. I think everywhere else it says chapter. Chapters 15 and 16 of Book 2, that is episodes 35 and 36 overall. And these are extremely... what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think divisive is the right word. I'm probably just on the wrong side of it. These are both
heart-wrenching.
Heart-wrenching and very unusual. They don't fit a lot of the common tropes of the other episodes, a lot of the stylistic things. So I think they'll make for really good, interesting podcast episodes. But before we get too far into that, Chris, how you doing?
Doing great. I've been so consumed with Avatar lately, just a lot lately. It's funny you mentioned the difference between saying episode and saying chapter, because today when I was rewatching these episodes, I was flipping back between the DVD and the Blu-ray to see which one had commentary for these two, and neither one did have commentary.
Really?
I'm disappointed in
for
that.
Either of these two?
I swear that Appa's Lost Days has commentary, or the episode of Western Air Temple has commentary, because they remark on how Appa's Lost Days won an award for the Humane Society, some type of humane societal thing about how it depicts animal cruelty in circuses. And they said that in a commentary, I remember, but I think it was in the Western Air Temple. Anyway, so my point being was that on the Blu-ray, you're on the menu, it says episode selection, but on the DVD, it said chapter selection. So, what the heck?
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't notice that in the DVD. I notice it when I'm searching for the official names on the wiki. That always says chapter. For what it's worth, I didn't see commentary available on either one of these, I don't think, on the DVD. It's been a while since I watched the Tales of Ba Sing Se, but I just watched Appa's 2 days ago, and I didn't see commentary. So if that makes you feel any better, I don't know if you're crazy. It could be a Western Air Temple thing. But there was commentary for the previous one, and it pops up after I select the episode, so it's pretty obvious. So I don't think it's on my DVD set, at least. It's on the long-lost original first edition DVD set that you gave away. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You lost it.
I swear that those had commentary on 80% of the episodes. The thing is, I emailed Adam about it, and he never emailed me back. And he probably lost them. And was like, I'm not even going to bother telling Chris that I lost these.
He has twins, and they are extremely intelligent. Wise and intelligent beyond their years, but that also means that they have their hands on a lot of things. So yeah, I can see how you could lose such things, but that's all right. Did you ever try Googling it just to see Google, commentary on all episodes or something like that?
I tried. I couldn't find anything.
Avatar fans, help us out if there is commentary out there for these episodes or just other episodes. It seems like on the DVDs, it's kind of a crapshoot. I don't really notice a pattern or rhyme or reason. Just, maybe 20% of episodes or something have commentary. Maybe not even that much. So help us out if there's additional commentary out there. Where are we missing it? Where do we get it? It doesn't seem to be on the regular Avatar The Last Airbender trio set that I have, at least. Yeah. But I have a newer one. I have one in the boring white and orange box instead of the original. The original had these big, beautiful, color-themed sets, books for each one, and they were really nice. I don't have that set. Maybe that's what they're on.
Yeah. And granted, I could just be crazy, and sometimes I'm remembering commentary that's not actually there, or I'm remembering from different episodes, and just because in college I'll just watch them all kind of straight through.
Yeah, just burn through them. And
for
runs together.
a little helpful tip that may help you is you can usually just select audio and you can get to the commentary. So if you're playing the episode, you just hit audio until you get to, because it goes English, Spanish, French, fluent, and then if there is a commentary, it'll be fourth on there of
commentary
audio, English
is its own
audio
language. It's director language. It's special.
And if it's not there, it would just play the regular English, the regular English thing. So
that's kind of cool. That's well,
and you can do that for really any DVD, I think.
That's kind of cool. I had no idea. But I also have never watched commentary for any other DVD ever. Let that be a testament of praise to Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's the only thing I've ever watched commentary for in my entire life.
I watch commentary. I love watching commentary. I watch commentary for Scrubs.
You know what? I think you'll have some input on this. Because it's a topic close to you, I do believe I watched some commentary for The Dark Knight. And they were talking about certain things like Heath Ledger did that were kind of like off script or unscripted. But then, like the iconic the hospital scene, and like, oh, that was off script and it just wasn't working and button click or whatever. But then I was reading online that like a lot of things like with that as a specific example is sort of manufactured content just for fans like us, and that it's not necessarily true. And that was like the first time I'd ever watched any commentary. And then I heard that not long after, and I don't have any proof one way or the other, but I just remember that being a really big turnoff, just thinking that some of that stuff is manufactured. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't think any of the Avatar stuff is, because it's a cartoon, and they don't throw praise or things like that, right? They're just talking about the episode. So obviously Avatar is a little different in that regard than large cinematic blockbusters, but I don't know, that sort of turned me off on commentary for some reason.
I mean, I've never heard that commentary. I mean, it might have been like a interview or something, but I don't think The Dark Knight has any like commentary for the entire movie.
Maybe not commentary, maybe just like the extra
behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes types. That's better. Not commentary. Behind the scenes. So any extra content, really, I usually avoid almost all of it, I guess is a general rule of thumb. But
I try to eat it all up as much as possible.
I don't blame you. I'll eat up a blooper reel. That's right up my alley. Even a fake blooper reel, like the blooper reels at the end of Toy Story, I'll watch those all day. When Mr. Potato Head pulls out his angry eyes and it's just a pair of shoes, that's one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever, and that's not even a real scene or a real blooper. I love it. But
you gotta think about how much money that cost.
Isn't that stupid? Isn't that really dumb? Yeah, so I'll watch a blooper reel sometimes. That's about the extent of it. Anyway, that's enough commentary from me about commentary. You don't want to hear that. That's not why you're here. You're here to hear, first of all, about our news. First of all, Chris made a new friend of the show today.
Yeah, we have a couple unofficial friends of the show. They don't know they're friends of the show, but they're friendly to us.
I was to say, so they don't have to know. I think they're friends in here. Yeah. Just our hearts, not theirs.
Yeah, this was not so new. I've talked to him several times on Twitter, like we're that close. Anyway, this is Giancarlo Volpe. He is a director on Avatar: The Last Airbender. He's directed several of amazing episodes on the show. Like, it's not like he was just like, oh, I directed The Great Divide. He might have directed The Great Divide. I don't know.
Nobody would admit to that.
Google that. But yeah, he's done a lot of work. Giancarlo Volpe is a great animator. He's a great director. And so I was watching Appa's Lost Days. I was like, man, this was hard to watch. Like, I remember actually watching when it premiered, because Appa has been gone for like such a long time. And then you always wonder, like, where is he at? And then we finally get Appa's Lost Days. He goes through, and we'll get through this episode, but he goes through so much stuff. I'm like, man, this was hard to watch. I wonder how hard it was to, direct. And then I was like, who's the director? I'm like, oh, it's Giancarlo Volpe. Let me just, tweet at him, ask him, how hard was this to direct? And he tweeted back like fairly soon, within like 20 minutes, which I do really love that about him. He does really get back at fans oftentimes. Anyway, he said he just pretty much shuts out his emotions when he's directing animation a lot of the time.
I think it's really cool, that he interacts with fans at all, because most of them don't. But then, like him, and then even Janet Varney's, I don't remember how fast she responded to you, but like they probably
fairly quick. Yeah.
They probably get it like several tweets a day. I'm not like celebrity status thing, but they wouldn't have. I don't know. I'm very flattered, and it wasn't even to me as to you, but I'm still very flattered. And for the record, The Great Divide was directed by Giancarlo Volpe. So,
Giancarlo.
I don't know how to say it.
I don't.
But it was
I
directed
think it
by
is
him.
Giancarlo.
We will. I don't even. Gosh, no, it's such an unfamiliar name
Hey,
in
hey,
our part of
but
the
he did
world.
that. But he did that animation that we pointed out. You know how it's different for the story, the two different stories.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
really neat, kind of
yeah.
cartoony. Yeah,
He didn't write it.
but
Watch it be Aaron Ehaus who wrote it. No, I don't think he wrote it. I'm pretty sure it wasn't
if
Aaron
we keep
Ehaus.
talking trash about him, he's never going to come on the show.
No,
Gosh.
no,
We're just kidding. We love all of your work, and every
really
season
did.
has good and bad episodes, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
Oh, so then, yeah, then he says, he said that, he's learned that in animation to just show these emotions out. And a little bit of Dragon Prince update, newsflash. This is like one of those like breaking news. It's not really breaking news.
Breaking. I wish I
Uh,
could. If I did any editing to this podcast, I'd do like a diddy 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 diddy. Like I'm not going to edit it, but you can just use your
uh,
imagination.
so I asked him back like, oh, I hope there's are there scenes in Dragon Prince season 3 where you had to completely shut your emotions out? And he says, "Oh yeah." So can't wait for Dragon Prince season 3. Looking
Snap.
forward to that. Looking forward to, I guess, our hearts getting broken one way or another.
You hear that,
So
Jamie? It's
that
going to
should
be all
be.
dramatic and emotional, just like you like it.
I thought you were gonna say just like you. I'm
Just
like,
like.
dang, it's kind of harsh.
No, that's really harsh. I wouldn't say anything. Just how she prefers her characters, I would say. I think that's a fair statement. Jamie, you can argue with this later if you disagree, but I think that's an accurate statement towards her taste in characters. Anyways, that's very exciting. Thanks, thanks, John,
I think it
Giancarlo.
is Giancarlo Volpe.
I think we're trying our best, and that's our heart's in the right
We're
place. So
trying our best.
we mean no disrespect with our inaccuracies. Chris, what videos have you made lately?
All right, latest videos I have a Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans review, which is really not that bad. I don't love either one of those shows, but for some reason when you smash them together, it's a really enjoyable show. Um, then I have a review up of Cannon Busters season 1, which is an anime that I really enjoyed. It is like a predominantly black cast, and you don't see that often in anime. You don't see that ever in anime. So I had a review of that. Also, that theme song, the open theme song for that show is amazing, and I love it. I've been listening to that on nonstop. I have another video comparing that theme song to one of the best, if I think it is the best anime theme song of all time, of Yu Yu Hakusho. It's called Smile Bomb. I'm comparing and contrasting those two themes and which one is better, because, like everything, I break it down and trying to quantify the unquantifiable. And music is probably harder to do that than like television and movies.
That's probably fair. I would say music speaks to different people in so many dynamic different ways that it's
Yeah.
probably harder to quantify. Would you find in so is there such a thing as like Western anime specifically, like anime created either
Well,
by or for a Western audience? And then would you say that
there's
those tend to be more or less maybe character diverse than what I'll
it's
call
the
traditional
thing.
anime, I guess?
The thing is, like, anime. It's to me, the definition of anime is it's produced and made and for in Japan, um, or in Asian markets,
It's like a literal
for Asian
definition,
markets,
I guess.
and it's based off of manga, which is a comic book, but it's backwards. It's usually black and white, and it's usually like one creator.
I've
So
read
that's
some
why I
Pokemon manga
define.
back to front. It was very interesting.
So that's what I define anime as.
Okay.
And Cannon Busters is created by a Western person's created by a black person. Well, the manga, I'm not sure who created the manga, but the producer of the show and the showrunner, he is black. Like, he's from the United States, I'm sure. And he produced it, but I still consider that an anime because it's based off of like manga. But then you have things like the Boondocks, um, which is uses anime style, but I don't consider that to be an anime. And I'm pretty sure they do all their animation work over in like Korea or somewhere in Eastern,
But
somewhere
essentially,
over
it's
in.
developed. I mean, it might be animated over there, but what you're saying is it's sort of developed here by people from
Yeah,
here. for
Very
here.
similar to Avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Avatar is, they do the directing here, they do the storyboards and everything here, but then they get the animation done over in South Korea and stuff like that.
For
So I could say, so Avatar is a
stylistic
cartoon.
things. Okay.
Also, if you wanted to be literal, like anime just means cartoon in Japanese.
Yeah,
So
and
everything could be an anime.
I'm not into like splitting hairs, dividing, but obviously there's enough style similarities that I see certain things and I'm like, I think that qualifies as anime in my head. Even like
Yeah.
Avatar, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of anime-ish. That's an
To
official
me, I don't.
term, anime-ish.
To me, I don't. Yeah, I don't care which way or the other. When I was a kid, it was a cartoon. Came on
Cartoon's a cartoon.
Toonami,
Yeah.
it was a cartoon, and I watched it and I enjoyed it.
At least
So,
manga, there's a distinction. Like manga, it's like, yeah, I suppose you would assume that has to be read in the opposite direction, and maybe I'm sure there's exceptions to that too. But like, that's kind of a nice basis for definition at least. And I was not joking about those Pokemon ones. I really did read them, and I liked them. It was very entertaining to try to read back to front. Very habit. You know when something doesn't feel uncomfortable, but it just feels wrong. Like if you fold your hands the other way, like cross your fingers the other way than you normally do, or cross your arms the opposite way. That's what it felt like to read that book back to front. It's like there's nothing wrong with it, but it feels wrong. It was interesting, but thanks for that breakdown. I needed to educate myself. And I might have interrupted your discussion of other videos, though.
yeah.
Potentially.
No, that was it.
Oh,
I'm
that's
currently
it. Okay.
editing a video of a review of Demon Slayer anime.
Okay.
Which is Demon Slayer is a really great anime. Shawn, you should watch it sometime, even though you're behind.
I'm very behind.
Yeah.
Have I mentioned before?
And not behind on Demon Slayer. You're behind on watching anime.
I'm behind.
General.
That's fair. Yeah. I'm behind in general.
Or just in life.
That's pretty accurate, I think. Yeah, I'm always like 2 steps behind. Probably farther in TV. Did I mention that I love football? And also, you know what? My wife loves football. And so it's very, we enable each other to watch more football. There is literally football on in our house 5 nights a week. And that is not an exaggeration. We dig it a lot. So it's worse if your wife likes whatever it is you like in terms of the amount of time you dedicate to that. So, Heather, if you're out there and you can hear me, it's kind of her fault. She's not watching football currently. It's only Tuesday. We're recording a little early. But on my side, I don't have any exciting news, but I do have a tidbit is that I'm going to collaborate with a local guy from Kansas City, that he has a video game podcast that is relatively popular in terms of podcasts, I guess. And he wanted some help doing some video editing, and he has seen some of our videos and asked me if I would help. And I was like, I don't really know how to edit, but maybe between the two of us, we can figure something out. So that's pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to that and talking about it. But that's probably enough excess stuff. We have 2 episodes to cover today. We have Tales of Ba Sing Se and Appa's Lost Days. So I think it's probably time we go ahead and jump into the episodes, starting with the first one, Tales of Ba Sing Se. Again, if you notice the theme about this, an overarching theme about this podcast, is that both of these episodes are just quite a bit different from any other episodes, really, to this point, in my opinion. But anyway, Chris, do you care to start us off with the Tales of Ba Sing Se?
Tales of Ba Sing Se. So this is the tales of like all the individual people, and we'll just kind of go through. So the first one is a tale of Toph and Katara and Ba Sing Se. I do like this opening, like people getting ready. I love seeing characters just do normal everyday things, like Sokka shaving, Aang shaving his hair, which is like, oh, Aang.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, you see both of them do shave it, and that's like not. I don't think we've ever seen him shave before. That's kind of fun.
Yeah,
he's the Avatar,
Katara,
but he's still got to do some self-maintenance.
Exactly. Katara gets her hair loopies ready, and then checking on Toph, and Toph just looks a wreck. Like,
it's great.
It is great. And she just has dirt all over her, and Katara tries to get them to go out and to have just a girls' day out, just a spa day, and And I love this story too. Like, there's some of these stories I can kind of take it or leave it, but this is a story that I actually really like. This is some great, womanly bonding, and not necessarily, for these two, I feel like they bond on the battlefield. They have a, respect for each other, um, but they don't really like get along in kind of other areas. So this was a really nice episode. So they go to the spa. Toph doesn't like it. I like how Toph is hesitant even to begin with, as if Toph has dealt with people and and judging her looks, or at least holding looks a to a high standard. And I think with Katara, she's open to it because it's Katara.
And Toph is doing all this. Is she's got like pigpen waves of like Pigpen from Charlie Brown, like a just like an aura about her, kind of. It's beautifully animated, and I use beautifully describing the animation, not Toph, because it legit looks pretty nasty. I'm gonna try to hold back my feelings on the individual ones. I think until the end, like my individual feelings, maybe until the ratings, or I don't have to. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But might be fun at the end to discuss like which ones we like best and worst when we give the ratings. Okay. That's very late for suggestions now that we're literally talking about it right now. I'll bring that up sooner next time that there's a weird one-off episode.
So they go to the spa and I have a really good time at the spa. It's really nice. And then they get all maked up on and everything. And then Katara, these high uppity, I don't like to curse often. These high uppity bitches.
Sorry, it's only funny because we're using this to describe people in a children's, like a Nickelodeon cartoon. And I'm not gonna say Chris called them. I will agree. I'll call them uppity bitches also. It feels good. Call it what it is.
I think that's the first time I called anyone a bitch, no matter even if they're fictional or real. So that's interesting. So here's the first.
At least they are fictional. Don't call real people bitches. I'm glad your first ones were fictional. That's fine.
And they deserve it.
They do. Listen, I know the makeup was laid on just a little thick.
It was kind of
intentionally so, but chill out, girls.
But still, they look nice. They make fun of specifically make fun of Toph, saying that she looks like maybe a clown. They say that she looks like
I think it is a clown.
That they dressed up their monkey poodle or something.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And Toph like laughs about it, and then playfully laughs about it, and then like Earth bends this bridge underneath into the water, and then Katara comes in, and like along with her, like you would think that Katara's gonna hold her back. Katara's like, no, they deserve it.
I totally did think she was gonna hold it back.
Yeah, and she water bends them down the drain, and this is before this moment. Like this tale is okay to me, but then it gets really good because Toph opens up. She's like, being blind, I never had to worry about how I look. I never had to worry about appearances. I don't care who I am as long as I don't care how I look as long as I'm confident in myself. Absolute great moment. And then I love how Katara replies to her, it's like, you're all right, but I want you to know that you really are beautiful. And Toph says, oh, thank you. And I love this Toph's reply. It's like, I would tell you you're beautiful too, but I have no idea how you look.
It's appropriate and pure Toph.
Yeah.
And well delivered.
Yeah.
Probably the last note.
One of the reasons.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was like, and I feel like I'm talking a lot about that. So anyway, one of the reasons why I love that moment is that Toph knows when people are lying, right? Like, Katara isn't trying to like cheer her up. I mean, she sort of is, but she's not. She's not patronizing her. Like, oh, Toph, you're cute. Like, sure, you're beautiful.
Yeah, she's being honest. Look great.
And
yeah.
Like she's honest and sincere, and Toph can sense that. So like, I'm sure throughout Toph's life, no one has told her that no one has encouraged her the way that Katara encourages her, and she can tell that Katara is absolutely honest and truthful about it. So that must mean a lot to her. It's like, oh, I really am pretty. Like I didn't know that. Like she has a new sense of self.
I'm sure she has been told before that she looks good in a like a maintenance way.
Yeah.
Wealthy background, high society, all that stuff, but
Mhm.
not just sort of at a pure level. So it felt really nice. I was
Yeah.
like blushing for her. It was cute. The other thing that I really, the other individual moment that I like in this one is when they're going to massage Toph's feet, and she's like, "Don't touch my feet." And then the next scene, they're like holding their back, and like it's not a pet egg, but it's the same idea. It's one of those like an exfoliator thing or something. It could be like a
Yeah.
chisel. I don't know. And they're just
Oh,
hacking
it
away at
pretty
her
much. I mean,
nasty
I've done
feet.
that to my feet before. It pretty much just scrapes the dead skin right off.
I'm really ticklish. They tried to do it to mine. I didn't make it. I'm very ticklish. But they're like holding her back, and then she ends up earthbending one like through a wall for trying to scrub
Yeah.
her nasty feet. But hey, you know what? She needs those feet to do a job. So, and that's tale number one, and it's a very emotional way to start the episode. Good hook.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a they start. I think they start off very solid here. Because the next one is the tale of Iroh,
Get heavy real
and
quick.
it is yeah. But it starts off so so unassuming. Like
Yeah, you have no
Iroh
idea.
goes to the market. Yeah, he goes to the market. He's just having a nice day. Gets some flowers. And then quickly the shopkeeper guy is like, "Oh, you want a romantic one? Get this flower." He's like, "Oh no, it's not romantic, but it is a special occasion." And like, I really wish I could remember what I was thinking when I first watched this episode. It was like, "Oh, I wonder what special occasion he's talking about."
I couldn't remember at first. Just it'd been a while since I watched this episode, and this, like, I just didn't remember right away. It was probably 3 or 4 minutes into this tale, so most of the way through before I was like, yeah. So if it does anything, caught me off guard too, because it's such a chipper, kind of uplifting vibe at first.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes throughout his day, very unassuming. He cheers up a little boy by singing um, "Leaves from the Vine," and he sings it in this like cheerful manner, like with a little like guitar thingy, and the little boy stops crying. Great moment. Um, he helps some kids
That's my
play
favorite part.
earthbending soccer because they punch a hole through this guy's window, and Iroh tries to tell them like you know admitting to wrongdoing is a sign of honor. And then he sees this big guy's like, well, not today. And they all run.
That's
And
probably my
Iroh quickly
favorite
runs.
individual moment. Yeah.
And Iroh quickly runs to the guy who's trying to mug him. And then he disarms them very quickly. And then he pretty much tells him, like, you're trying to rot me? Like, with that stance? Like, you're not, you don't have a strong footing here. Like,
His
I can
feet
easily
are
knock you
like
over.
turned in like in a way so unnatural that I tried to replicate it and I couldn't do it. Like I can't even
Yeah.
stand. So thanks for the help,
I think the guy is
Ira.
just naturally bow-legged, but
Yeah, could be. Yeah,
or maybe
there's
not, because I mean, Iroh's straight out. Yeah, he's probably just. I
but
mean,
a
no one
little
naturally
better
gets in that
posture and stuff.
stance.
Even if you're bow
Yeah,
legged, just better posture
yeah,
will go a long way.
yeah.
But it was a nice
Uh,
gesture, and then most importantly, he's like, "Hey, and you don't really look like the mugging type," and have a nice conversation.
yeah, what do you want to be again? A masseuse?
I don't remember what he says. I know it
I
kind of
think.
tied into something, but
Yeah, I think it was a masseuse out of everything. Or I have to look it up later.
Yeah, now I can't
But
remember, but I know it's like he does give off a very innocent innocent vibe, I guess.
yeah, and I love the line. Some more Iroh wisdom. The guy says like, "Man, no one's ever believed in me before. Thank you." Iroh says, while it's very important to have confidence in yourself, getting some or having belief in oneself, getting some encouragement from others can be a great reward or get a great blessing. That's what he says. Um, Iroh just spitting knowledge and wisdom
That is
again
not the
to
quote I chose for the end of episode quote, but that was a good one.
yeah. And the day finally ends. He walks up to a hilltop. Beautifully done scene. Just the cinematography on there is absolute gorgeous. Takes out a picture, or he first lights the incense or whatever it is. And he puts a picture of Lieutenant and says, "If only I could have saved you." Like, oh my gosh! And then he sings "Leaves from the Vine," but this time it is so different. It's a dramatically different song now. To where like before you think it's like, oh, it's just a nice little, chummy song, about a
Just an
boy
old
marching
timer
home and
song,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. And then here, just like, no, this is a song about a boy going off to war, being lost in a sea of chaos and war and killing and violence, and not returning home or trying to return home. And he says, if only I could have saved you, Lieutenant. It's so good. Like I was watching this with my daughter, and she was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's his son. His son died in the war." I tried to explain to her like everything. um, but yeah,
She's
just
level-headed. She can take it.
yeah, she can think. But I mean, just how they juxtapose the song earlier with how they did it here is just a magnificent job done. It reminds me a lot of like in Coco, how you can have the same song and have two completely different meanings when sung by different people. So the song "Remember Me," so like the original guy, I forgot his name,
I
who
can't
was.
remember it
Have you
either.
seen Coco?
I like Coco a lot.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Yeah, I love Coco. Anyway, the guy who was like the big Elvis type of person who sung "Remember Me," like "Remember me, even when you travel far to remember." Like he sung it very up top, very up
Very, it was
tempo, to
pop. It
where
was like pop music.
yeah, to where you think it's more like it's a song to a girl and he has to like go off. But then um, Coco's father sings it and it's more like "Remember me, do I have to say goodbye?" Like it's more like "Remember me, I have to leave you now, my dear, love, don't let it make you cry." Like the two songs have two completely different meanings. And I love that movie a lot. So any chance I can reference that movie, I will try to.
This feels wildly inappropriate after something so touching, but just the other day somebody tagged me in a guy after Friends got taken down from Netflix. There was a video going around of a guy that played the Friends song in a minor key. And so and then he slows it down real bad, and it sounds really depressing, and it's kind of impressive. Same concept, less touching than your story, but worth a watch. No, it's not worth a watch. Just go watch Coco instead. Same point, better description or better demonstration. But yeah, it's cool. You just flip it to the minor key, and boom, depressing. Yeah, that one, and it kind of comes out of nowhere because up until the very end of that tale, so to speak, there's nothing even suggestively sad about it.
Yeah.
And then he gets up to that hilltop and get a whole lot of like Iroh development with very few words.
Yeah. Great moment.
Yeah.
Next up is the tale of Aang, and pretty much Aang makes a zoo.
Aang acts stupid and then rectifies it, kind of. He does rectify it with some good fortune and a lucky break.
Yeah. That's essentially the story. I really have nothing else to add. So I mean, he goes to the zoo, asking if like looking for Appa, essentially. And he ends up making a zoo.
And
But he never thought about who's gonna upkeep the zoo. Like now the zoo is much bigger. Like this guy has to hire more people. Like, geez, man, just think through these things.
I think that
Anyway, I'm kidding.
No, I mean, but I think in short, this is probably the least deep or even impactful of the stories, probably. I mean, you can probably find meaning in, but it essentially amounts to he's walking through the real zoo, and animals look depressed, and he's like, hey, we need to get these animals out the gates to some grass, and guy's like, how are you going to do that? The zookeeper, he's like, don't worry, I'm great with animals. And then it cuts to the next scene where the animals are just causing all this horrible destruction, which Aang never has to answer for, by the way, and that makes me really mad. And then he essentially tries to rally them all up, and he uses the bison whistle to get them all outside the gates, and then earthbends a nice big zoo outside. So it's maybe a cute story at best, but probably the least meaningful here, I think.
Yeah. So the next one is the tale of Sokka, he just walked around throwing his boomerang. He ends up,
Just doing warrior stuff.
yeah, uh, yeah, he ends up in a poetry haiku class, and he has like pretty much a rap battle with the head teacher there. And I think that's is really impressive. Because one thing, flowing like freestyling is hard to do. Like I couldn't imagine if like rappers nowadays had to not only freestyle but had to like keep their syllables just the
Yeah, it's a
perfect
new
amount.
element in there.
Like
You don't just have
they
to
had to do a
rhyme.
haiku.
Coming up with the syllables on point. That is a new level of slam poetry right there. When you got to
Yeah,
count your haiku syllables.
I'm pretty sure Common, the rapper, is it Common? I'm pretty sure he has a song where he does a haiku in it. I'm pretty sure it's not a freestyle because that's impressive if you can. Like you gotta be on beat.
No
You
kidding.
gotta it's so many layers there.
You've
I
got
have to
to
look at
be on. Damn it! I already lost it. See, it's no good. It's harder than it looks.
that. See if we can do haikus are hard. Yes.
Yeah.
They can be very I'm just saying the same thing again. Anyway, yeah, I can't do that.
Harder. See, boom. See, we can't do it. We tried. We gave it our
Yeah.
best.
Our attempt at a haiku.
Give us time. We'll work on it.
uh, yeah, I think this episode goes like it kind of adds a little more dimension to Sokka that he is, he's very scholarly. Like he is a natural talent at things that requires um, some knowledge and some thinking. So I think it informs the character of Sokka a little bit more. Also, that he ends up ends up getting kicked out the class because he had one syllable too many. I just like when he's counting them, like I am not in. Oh no, that's not the one. His
I
girl
forget
Sokka.
which
Oh
one it
no,
is that does it
it's
before
my
the
name is
bouncer.
Sokka. My name's Sokka. It rhymes with Akka. Young ladies, I
I'm gonna
rock
rock
ya.
ya or something like
I
that.
think it's I rock ya. Yeah, it was sits. Yeah.
And then the bouncer, which by the way, their slam poetry class. It's not a slam poetry
That's
class. Their poetry class has a bouncer, and that's pretty fantastic.
yeah. Yeah, that's
That's really
pretty
all
much
that
Sokka's
happens in
episode.
his. You don't get much. You see a different side of Sokka that still fits within his fits very neatly within his character motif, but you get it from a different angle.
Yeah. So then we move on to the tale of Zuko, and I really liked this one. Um, and in this episode, Zuko actually goes on a date with Jin. That's her name, Jin. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She asks him out. She's like, she's she's
She's pretty
she's
excited about
very
it.
straight. She's very straightforward with Zuko. Like, she
She knows we're
asks him
Fire
on a
Nation.
date. Yeah. Um, and Iroh is really trying to encourage Zuko to go on this date and everything. Even trying to encourage Zuko to find happiness for a while. Really reminds me a lot of Alfred and Batman. Like Alfred oftentimes would be like, "Please, just go out with so and so. You guys might actually hit it off." Like,
I don't know how quick you
and
came up with that comparison, but that's solid. I like that. Like not just in this episode, but kind of in general.
yeah, I
I
should
like.
just now thought about that.
Hey, that sounds like a video. Write that down quick. That's sounds like future content.
Yeah, because in The Dark Knight Rises, like Batman's investigating Catwoman stealing something. He's like, "How about you two go out and so, which they do end up together."
See, Alfred knows.
Alfred knows. Oh, I love that. I love the ending of that movie. Anyway, Bruce Wayne finally finds happiness.
I like the
That never happens.
ending. I like the ending of that movie as an ending to the trilogy. I don't like necessarily the ending to the story presented in that movie. I don't hate it.
Okay.
That's fine. That's a different topic for a different day.
Yeah.
Great ending to the
Yeah. So
trilogy, though.
yeah. So they go on the date, and Zuko is doing terrible on this date. Like, he comments that she has great gusto for a girl her age because she eats like a lot of food apparently, and he tries to juggle, and that doesn't happen well. date's not really going anywhere. Then she tries to add a little bit something to it. Takes to go to her favorite spot, a fountain that's usually lit by like many candles, and she's kind of disappointed. Like I said before, she's very aggressive with Zuko. Like there's quick hand holding, quick arm holding. I don't know if they just do that, type of stuff. But I remember my first date with my wife. I don't think there was a lot of hand holding
Not
or
like
arm
that,
holding.
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, and I would also say that, like you mentioned, the date's not going anywhere in very clear fashion, but she's just like given, second and third chances in very surprising fashion. Like, are there not a lot of boys your age around, or like what's your deal? Because he's not doing well. Like, he doesn't deserve these chances in this very specific instance, but she's gonna keep giving him shots. So yeah, no, I'm a touchy feely guy, and on my first date with my wife, I definitely did not hold her hand or anything. And I'm pretty I am pretty I don't know, touchy feely. I don't know how else to describe it. It sounds bad. Think of a better word.
Let's just use this podcast to talk about our first dates with our wives.
Yeah, you guys want to hear that stuff, right? I'm sure the only person that want to hear about that stuff is our wives, and I'm sure that neither one of them listens to this podcast, so we can probably skip it.
Yeah, that's good. So she takes him to the fountain, and to her dismay, the candles are not lit, and Zuko says, "Close your eyes," and he fire bends at them. Which I do like that Zuko is doing very controlled firebending here.
Yeah, it's very delicate.
Firebending.
Precise. Very precise.
Yeah, very precise. And he's doing it with his two fingers. Usually Azula, is just bending with her two fingers, which she's so precise also. So, great firebending by Zuko here, because he could have easily just burned down those little candle holders. And she opens her eyes. She's like, "Oh, how did you do it?" and everything. Which we've talked about this before, just how she's either knows that he's a Fire Nation, doesn't care, or she is just an idiot who's just
I want to see
completely oblivious.
I want to see the best in this person. I think the worst case scenario is that she's really negligent. Like, she knows that he's Fire Nation and she feels like she should report it, and she's like, "Nah, because I like him." The best case scenario is that she's I don't know if enlightened is the right word, but hey, he's Fire Nation, but he's probably a refugee, and he's probably not a bad guy, and I'm an open-minded person who can see past political differences. I'm going to give her that, even though there's no evidence to suggest that. I'll try to see the best in her, and not just that she's an idiot or negligent.
You know what would be funny? I mean, it wouldn't be funny, but if she was a secret spy for Jet, and she's like, "Ha ha, gotcha." You did it. You firebended.
He jumps off of a roof somewhere and is like, "Gotcha."
Yeah. Smeller bee comes out of nowhere. Jet was right.
It would have been really easy to tail him on this date too. It was sort of publicly announced in the shop, and they're not discreet about where they're going. And
just like okay, you need to go in there every day so he knows who you are. Infiltrate him in the uncle.
That would explain why she keeps giving him more chances.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is not headcanon.
This completely contradicts the
strictly fan fiction. But I'm gonna say it's headcanon because I like it. I find it amusing, so I'm gonna run with it.
Yeah.
But
maybe because Jet was locked up, she's like, you know what? I'll keep trying to date this guy.
It's kind of fun. He looks cute. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah. So anyway, she then says, "I was surprised for you." She kisses him. He kisses her back. He leaves because he's confused about life in general. I think. No, I think I would have liked a little bit more detail into that. What if Zuko is left because he's I don't know what the heck I want. He is now getting acclimated into Earth Kingdom. He's finding a girl and everything, living the life of a commoner. But does that conflict with his self-image? They don't go into that, but I think that's what's going on in there.
Seems pretty reasonable to me. And it's funny, like for a commoner, but like they clearly own a successful tea shop. Like even when put in such an adverse,
I don't think they're owners at this point.
they're in their own now, right?
No, I don't think they're.
Still in the other one? Okay, I
No,
lied. Never mind.
no, they're not ownership. Yeah.
Okay. Well, eventually they become small business owners. Spoiler. So, point being that even in such an adverse situation, that like he still manages to distinguish himself. But I'm apparently jumping again. I'm probably jumping again. But the ending
but I
to
do
this
love...
one is its best.
Oh, go ahead.
I think the ending to this tale is its best feature, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets back home and he like slams the door on Iroh. I don't remember if Iroh had even said anything yet, like how was your date? And then he slams the door and then he like cracks it back open and he's like, it was good, or it was nice, or something like that, and then he closes it back like much more calmly. And
I think there's some great voice acting by Dante Bosco here.
Yeah.
Like to say like it was nice. Like he says it in a way that's like it's
like
like
a
it's
kid,
kind of
like a young,
he's kind of like
teenager.
guilt ridden that it's so nice, but he's also happy that it was nice.
Yeah.
It's just some weird emotions going on there. I think Dr. Bosco does a great job of voice acting there.
You felt like you were listening to an actual teenager and not an insane, deranged psychopath. Like that was an actual confused teenager with a lot of mixed emotions in that. And in that 3 words, I can count that in haiku form. In those 3 words. A lot of feelings, and they did a great job.
Yeah. This character Jin does come back in a comic book that takes place between book 2 and book 3. It's not a big comic book or anything, but she does make another. It's when Mei and Zuko are out on a date, and they kind of come in contact with her. I need to read it because I haven't read it in a while, so I kind of forget what happened. But also, maybe she's the mother of Izumi. I don't know. We'll see. I'm working on the video on it. I mean, I do have a very strong opinion on
Jin
it.
or Mei?
Jin or Mei, or maybe someone else.
Huh. I'm curious. I'm excited to find out. And I have no opinions, as this falls within the touchy-feely realms of sentimental things that I don't touch in my television shows. So I'll take your opinion, whatever it is. No, that'll be fun to hear. All right. I did enjoy the Sokka Toph video. I thought that was a lot of fun. But
yeah, it'll be in that vein.
Really, really touching into what I would consider otherwise. I don't know. It's probably the most divisive. Like if you're into it, then it's probably really entertaining to you, and if you're not, then it's probably really dull. But everyone would agree it has a really nice ending. I think everybody should agree that it has a nice ending. Speaking of endings, we got the last tale of the episode.
The last one is a tale of Momo. He kind of goes out. I feel like he's looking for Appa, and that's really sweet.
I think it's sort of implied pretty strongly, right, that he's looking for Appa?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely for Appa now I think about it. He runs into some dog panther thingies.
I don't know what they are, but they're scary dog monkeys. They're part monkey.
Maybe a monkey.
I don't know. They look scary though. I think that's all you got to get across. They look scary.
Yeah. Momo gets in a fight with them. Then they all get captured by some guy who I think is going to cook them. So
I think so too. Actually, yeah. No,
yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of weird stuff.
I don't know how PC that is, but anyway. They just got an award from some high prestige.
No, they hadn't got it yet. That's the next one.
Yeah, my bad.
They redeemed themselves in that one.
Momo does easily free himself because he has opposable thumbs. And he also frees.
Never been so grateful for those opposable thumbs.
Yeah, he also frees the panda things. And they all are really cool and friends, and they go off. And one of them, Momo has like a Appa's fur around him. And one of them steals Appa's fur because they're much better at tracking than Momo is. And it tracks it to this paw print that looks like... And Momo doesn't get the hint that they're trying to help him out, which is kind of sad. Like, they went through this whole thing with each other.
Still not quite speaking the same language, but...
Yeah.
He gets the point eventually. It just takes him a sec.
And then Momo does land in this paw print of Appa, but it's just one paw print, and that doesn't come into play until the next episode. So
Momo's tail is certainly the least taily, right? It just almost more
or
of a
maybe it's the
segue.
most telly with all these tails.
With all it has, that's true. It's literally the most taily, but figuratively, it feels more like a segue than a tail. And not that that's a slide. Just a nice
Yeah.
transition into where we're going next. So, not as much meat or content there, but feels the end of the episode. Nice to see Momo. Nice to see somebody's out looking for Appa. Jeez, you monsters out there making zoos. I don't know if you can tell which one I like the least, but anyway. So again, though, not really too much to Momo's other than he's kind of on his search for Appa and does get on the trail at the end in a good way. And with that, I think we'll go to ratings, unless there's anything else you'd like to call out on this one.
Sure. Let's go to ratings. All right, my rating, audio visual, a 9. I know that seems really high because there's really like not any action or anything here, and really even visual wise, there's not that much stuff going on. But Tale of Iroh on top of the hill, singing Leaves from the Vine, that visual is beautiful with that sunset. So that alone kills it for me visual wise. And then audio, I mean, this episode has Leaves from the Vine, a song that is just amazingly written by Michael Dante DiMartino, who was the co-creator of Avatar. I tried to look up the meaning of the song. I tried to look up everything I could about the song. Pretty much only found that it was written by him. Didn't find anything else beyond that and the lyrics, and it was composed by Jeremy Zuckerman, who was the composer on Avatar. And of course, it is voiced by Mako. Oh, and we should mention this episode ended with a memorial dedication in honor of Mako, who is the voice actor of Iroh. He's also the voice actor of Master Splinter.
No kidding.
In one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
The newer ones?
I think it's no, not the newer ones. I think it's. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly what it is, but he voiced Splinter in one of them.
That's fun.
He also voiced Aku in Samurai Jack.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry.
But no, you're fine. So that alone carried this audio visual for me to a 9. All the other episodes, there wasn't that much there. So story got a 9 also, pretty much for the same reason. Tale of Iroh bumps its way up. I did still really enjoy Zuko's tale and Katara's tale. That increased those. I thought there was some great character moments in those. So this one got a 9. Memorable, a 10, all because of Tale of Iroh. It's pretty much that simple. Tale of Iroh carries this episode.
It's the reason that you watch this episode, I think.
Yeah. So 9.2, that feels high. It is high because it's a great episode.
That is very high. Would you care for me to share where that's at on your current list of this episode, of this season, or do we just that's a teaser?
That's number 1.
Just a teaser.
All right, yeah.
Listen to our episode between seasons where we get to our top 5s, and you'll find out where it lands. I had different feelings. Okay, just remember though,
it's fine.
Like, yeah, 7s. These are not bad. Bad is 2s and 3s and 4s, and I don't give those out. 7. I just tried to kind of quantify it as like the majority of this episode is nice things, but there's also some stuff that just doesn't do much for me. There's a few really strong parts that carry it through. Nothing wrong with a 7. There's a lot of different music in this episode. We usually don't get this kind of dynamic of sounds and noises and music and things, so that's kind of cool. Story, same way. The majority good, but there's also a lot of feel. I don't care for Aang's at all. Momo's really isn't a story. Sokka's is neat, but again, not even super developmental. But in general, it's a 7. Nothing wrong there. Memorable, still a 10. I would say that I generally don't love this episode, but I'll never not watch it as I'm watching through, just because it's unique and it's different, and You got the tale of Iroh is obviously very important. And I would agree that I don't know how you feel. Like, I don't necessarily love Zuko's. I do really like how it ends. I think that's cute and insightful. And I also really like Katara and Toph's at the beginning. That's kind of a... I don't know. It doesn't really have much meaning, but it's just really cute. And so, long story short, I'll never not watch this one, even though it's probably not my favorite. It's just neat and fun. And so that came out to a 7.9. Brings us to an 8.5 in the middle. Okay.
It's probably the highest. It's one of the highest discrepancies we've had. But it's honestly, this is one that I understand because I was, really holding Tell Iroh to a high regard.
It's a divisive episode among other people too. I would say more people like it than don't. If I had to say such a thing, but I think it's pretty divisive out in the rest of the world too. So, brings it out to an 8.5. Again, nothing wrong with that. I expected that one to be divisive. That brings us to Appa's Lost Days. Directly follows in episode sequence, but I think in real time it jumps back to when Appa was originally captured. So you kind of step backwards into time a few episodes, if I'm not mistaken. It picks right up when they're sort of tying him down outside the library. Am I mistaken?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
right. You're right. Yeah. This episode is actually the longest time spanned episode, according to, which that makes sense, because most episodes span a day or two, and this one spans 4 weeks actually.
That's such a long time. Poor Appa.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell a random joke from the previous episode that my daughter mentioned. Real quick, when Zuko gave Jin the coupon for the tea, she says, "Oh, that's sweet." My daughter goes, "That's funny." And I was like, "Wait, is she understanding puns right now?" She was like, "Yeah, because tea is sweet." I was like, "I'm so proud of you."
She's knocking it out of the park. I'm so proud.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm so proud.
Yeah, so back to Appa's Lost Days. Yes, it starts off right outside the library. It pretty much just documents just the lows of the lows and the slight highs that Appa went on in this whole entire time.
Mostly lows.
Mostly lows. A lot of lows.
There's a moment or two, but
yeah. And like I was saying,
cool tie-ins all over this episode, though. That's kind of interesting. Highs, I guess I would call them. Neat tie-ins to other things.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I was saying before, this episode was hard to watch, especially when it first premiered, because I think we go like 6 months in between when Appa was first taken and when they first were reunited with Appa, and so it must have been probably about 4 months in between when this was aired. So when I saw Appa's Lost Days, that's the title, I thought, oh, finally we're gonna get Appa back. And this episode, like it gives you that optimism like a couple different times, like, okay, finally Appa's gonna be back,
and it takes it away.
and it just takes it away. So this episode was
dreams.
Yeah, it was really hard to watch, and apparently according to Giancarlo Volpe, it was very I guess it was easy for him to direct because he shut himself off emotionally.
No, by emotionally removing himself, though, it allowed him to create a more dramatic piece. So good work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that's some sort of writing phenomenon. Like, you can't truly write drama unless you can, like, step away from it or something like. There's probably a theory out there that describes that.
Yeah. So first, he is kidnapped by the Sandbenders. They then can't really handle him. They trade him to some random people. They sell them to the circus. And in the circus, he meets this kid who reminds him a lot of Aang. The way he laughs and everything. The kid helps him out. The kid encourages him to leave the circus. You have this terrible ring bearer person who firebends at Appa, which gives Appa like a fear of fire. And that fear is so sad, especially later when Suki has to like ward him off with it. So after he leaves,
cuts me deep.
Yeah. So after the circus, after he escapes from there, he goes to like this barn area, eats a lot of hay there. the people there think it's a monster. They kick him out. He then eventually finds like cave-ish area, or is that the official name of porcupine?
Yeah,
It
I had
sounds.
to look it up because
Oh,
I was very
cool.
curious as to what it
Yeah, that
was.
makes.
Like, you know what's funny though
Yeah.
is I
So
looked that up, but I didn't look up the Momo things. But this felt like more like a bigger deal in my head, I guess. So, yeah,
yeah,
so I looked that one up. I thought it was,
yeah, he gets
that's
it.
funny. It's kind of punny, even a porcupine.
Yeah,
That's funny.
he gets in a fight with a porcupine, and it is a brutal fight.
Yeah, it's kind of
Like
graphic.
it's probably one of the most brutal fights I've seen of animals. Like there's no fight like this in Pokemon. Like
No, not at all. I
like
mean, in the
even.
Detective Pikachu, maybe, but not in like other Pokemon stuff.
Nah, not even. I mean, there's one point where Appa has to like gnaw out the needles out of himself, and off camera you hear him screaming in agony. Like he's just been put through the ringer here. And he like rolled down a hill, like tumbled down a very large hill, apparently. Um, yeah, just brutal, very brutal. And eventually, Kyoshi warriors find him. Suki finds him like after just seeing the Avatar. So really, this episode's doing a good job of just documenting the time lapse that's happened. Because even when Kyoshi warriors say, like, didn't you just see the Avatar last week or so? Like, there are all these close calls happening here, which makes you as an audience member just like, oh, I was so close.
It is. The episode in general feels like it's like that last piece of the puzzle that's all weird shape and stuff, and you don't even know there's gonna be a piece for it, and it just like fits in really nicely. I call it tie-ins. I don't know if that's the right word, but it really does fit in extremely nicely. It's almost like they were writing it on the side as they were writing these other episodes. Like, hey, what's Appa doing right now? Let's put that in there. I don't know if they're doing. That's just my speculation, but
Yeah.
it's really well put together like that, though, or at least it felt that way.
Yeah. Um, and then like he finally meets up with like Suki, but he is very standoffish against her. Like she has to like feed him a couple apples just to get him, and they finally clean him up. Like I feel like the whole tone kind of changes here. Like everything's happy. Kyoshi Warriors, or he's all cleaned up. He's looking good, looking strong. And then out of nowhere, Blue Fire just gets shot out, and it's Azula. And the thing is, it has been a while since the team has been confronted by Azula. Like, so Azula is still on their track, so this must happen
Since
before
the
the drill.
drill, yeah.
But but
Azula is
and they
like
have
cilantro. She ruins everything.
so here's a fight between the Kyoshi Warriors and Azula and Mei and Ty Lee. And I like this fight, but there are also areas I don't like the dialogue in this fight
It's pretty
because they're
corny
like,
or campy,
oh
maybe.
yeah, Ty Lee says like, you guys are not cuter than us. Like, I don't like that line.
Eh,
It just comes off as like catty. Like comes off as girls fighting because they're girls and not fighting because they're warriors and
yeah,
they
it's
have
not
opposing
ideal.
sides.
That's how I feel about so off topic, but it's actually a weird soapbox for me. Is that I really like the Ocean's movies, but I hated Ocean 8 because I was like, why they gotta steal jewelry just because they're women? It's like, why can't they heist a casino? Let me watch that. And that's how I feel about that dialogue.
I haven't seen any of the Ocean's movies.
Oh, I actually do really enjoy 3 out of 4. But then the
Yeah,
women, instead of
I've
getting to do
been
something fun, they have to steal jewelry because they're women, I guess. I don't know. It pisses me off a
I've
little
been
bit.
meaning. Well, I haven't been meaning. At one point in my life, I was been meaning to watch the Ocean's movies, and I just never got around to it.
I'm gonna say it's at least worth a watch, even if you, I
Yeah,
could see you being a person that like maybe would never like watch them again, but you wouldn't not like the experience. You'd still be like, okay, that's fine.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, that was wildly off
So
topic, but that is a soapbox thing for me because I don't read between the lines all that well. So if stuff hits me like that, chances are it's hitting other people a little harder still.
Um, so they're kind of firebiting at Appa, and Suki has to do like the terrible but much necessary thing of warding Appa off with fire. Like it's like she has to it's just a kind of a heart-wrenching moment where she has to hurt a thing that she loves in order for it
And she doesn't know
to be
he's gonna have
free.
like PTSD about this. Like she obviously is using the fire, but even she doesn't
Yeah,
know that she's hurting him that bad. I guess.
like yeah, I kind of just want them to. Yeah, she doesn't necessarily know. Good point. But I always kind of wanted them to have like this little like, oh, I'm sorry, Appa. Like I'm glad you're doing well. There's nowhere you could have fit that in anywhere.
Yeah.
No, nowhere. But I'm headcanon. They did. They
Yeah. Oh, they had a talk. Yeah, they did.
yeah, they had a
Later,
talk.
later on. Later
Yeah.
on. I just wanted to make
Uh,
up. That's all.
yeah. Oh, I do like the dialogue that Azula and Suki. I like Suki and Azula's dialogue with each other. Everyone else's dialogue is horrible. But like when Suki has her fans and Azula just says like, "Don't you know fans only make flames stronger?" And it's just so Azula.
I mean, it is. I was chalking that up to when we first started talking about dialogue. That's one
Yeah,
of the earlier lines.
I
It's
like
like
that
it's
dialogue.
kind of corny, and it reminds me of how you really like the line about Azula throwing the guy into the ocean, like right when you meet Azula. Is
Yeah,
that right when you
and
meet
you
her?
did.
Yeah, and I did
Yeah,
just it's a little over the top, but I get it. It's fine. I get it.
the other dialogue I hate. Not the animation's a little different. Like like when
I
Ty
didn't
Lee is like doing
notice.
her chi blocking, it just looks a little off. Don't know why
Interesting.
that is, but
No, it's kind of fun.
yeah. And then Appa, I mean, Appa's just trying to track down this whole time. He's trying to track down Aang, which is a terrible. Oh, actually, he's a good tracker. But he figures, you know what? I'll just head back to like where Appa was born, and that was in the Eastern Air Temple, where the women air nomads raised sky bison. And that's so sad. Like it's like returning home where there's no home. Like
Well,
we often forget that Appa is the last sky bison. Like he has nothing else. Like it's that one scene where there's that like water thing. He tries to like chew on it. And it's just like dust, and he doesn't react to it well. Is That's also sad.
and him going back home, I kind of took like I was already depressed. It's like it's kind of like he's given up. Like I can't find him. I'm going. I don't know. I guess I didn't find any implications that he was like tracking Aang that way. I took it as like a given up. I just go into one place where I know. I guess I don't.
Yeah, well, he was tracking Aang definitely before because he went to like all the places Aang
Right,
went.
right.
This is, I get your point. It's you could definitely have that interpretation that he
And
is just
I
like,
just when I saw that he was going, or when it's relayed that it's like, hey, he's back where he was born. It's like, oh, is he like done looking, or I don't know. That's how I took it.
I mean, I think that's just the place. I think
Just
if
next
Aang is
on
gonna
his
find
list.
him anywhere across the world, it will be possibly in the Air Temple. So, I
Home,
was just like,
home
hey, I'll
base,
just go
home
home.
base.
Yeah,
That's fair. Okay, so maybe it didn't have to be quite as depressing as I thought it was.
yeah. I don't think Appa's going there to die, and just I mean,
Like
he wouldn't die. I'm sure he can live off the.
just this time as I was watching, I was like, well, I don't know about die, but I was like, oh, is he just gonna? What's he gonna do there? But
I don't think Appa would ever give up being with Aang.
I thought you were gonna say Appa would never die. I was like, no, 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 that's not how that works.
Yeah. Appa definitely does. As we learned in the Rise of Kyoshi,
Let's go ham. Let's
I
go ham.
I kind of want to say that like that when Air Nomad dies, the Sky Bison. I feel like they were implying the Sky Bison goes off to the wild, and then just not that they just die, but I feel like their life because they're so connected, like their life they don't have that much more to live for.
You
You know,
like
it's
you
like
lost
really
your
old
partner.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's funeral director. I get it. Yeah, you just. It's not that you go to die. It just usually happens at a faster rate.
Yeah. So he finally gets to the Eastern Air Temple. He meets this guru who he is very standoff against. The guru like eventually gets him to eat stuff, and Appa finally like is trusting enough, just barely enough, that he goes to sleep. And at that time, oh, I love how the guru is just like sitting there patiently waiting for Appa to feel comfortable with him, and like he just has his eyes closed, but he's like looking, kind of like, all right, he's still not ready. And okay, he's ready now. And I love this moment where he goes and kind of just reads his aura or reads his spirit. He's like, yes, you have a lot of love in you, but fear has moved in the place of trust. Like, oh, for some reason, love the guru in this episode in this case.
And in hindsight,
Just being
now it's
able to
cool
read.
knowing what the guru, like just knowing the greater role he plays too. So, like at first time
Yeah,
seeing it, you're like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but watching
yeah,
it
this
again, you're like,
random
oh, cool.
guy.
Yeah, but no, it's really cool seeing him the second time through or third time through.
Yeah. Yeah. So eventually, Appa is really friendly with him, and he can direct Appa to Aang's energy and his location, because Appa and Aang's like spirits are like intertwined, or their energies are intertwined. He does tell him like, please give this. I love how he asks Appa like, may I attach this to your horn? And then Appa like gives an agreement. I just love the respect the group of Teak has for Appa. And he says that like, oh, I had a vision that I was going to help the Avatar out, which I think is interesting because like so many people have visions and they don't. The result isn't what you expect. Like Iroh had a vision he was going to conquer Ba Sing Se. He did not do that. He ended up liberating Ba Sing Se from the Fire Nation. Group Batik has a vision that he is going to help the Avatar. His training did not help the Avatar
Spoiler
at
alert.
all. Yeah, yeah, his training did not help the Avatar necessarily, which I don't think it really. I guess it helped.
It
But
ultimately,
Aang didn't follow the last advice that he gave him.
and that's,
So to me, that doesn't count.
I was gonna say that kind of defines what makes Aang especially different at the end as an avatar. Like just being tethered for it's a different conversation for a different day, but just refusing to disconnect from his earthly tether, so to speak. I don't know. It's fun. That'll be a fun conversation when the time happens. But excellent point. Destiny's being fulfilled in unsuspecting
Yeah.
ways.
Yes. Which is, I think, is a common theme throughout the show.
Yeah.
So they do a great job at going back through these things and reassuring them. So then Appa leaves. He's finally in Ba Sing Se, in the same city that Aang is in. And then he is taken by Long Fei, and he leaves that one print that we see from Momo's tail.
Yeah, I
So that's why
wasted that
this.
cilantro line earlier on Azula. I probably should have saved it for Long Fang.
Yeah, Long Fei's the worst. Although, I mean, I like Long Fei enough as a villain. He he's interesting political wise.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a jerk, but yeah, I get it. It's an interesting crux to the story that when I was watching through the first time, I was not at all expecting, and he is
Yeah,
obviously the driver of that. So, yeah. Um, Gosh, that's depressing. That's when you have the most hope. Like he's healthy, he's got
exactly.
the
Yeah,
direction, he's got the note on his horn, he's at Bossing Say,
yeah.
and you're so full of
And
hope,
then just
and broke your
just
spirit, rejected.
just rug, just
Yeah,
pull it right from under you. Literal and in opposites.
yeah. Actually,
All right.
very literal. Good catch. Good call. Let's get you
My
some
ratings:
ratings.
audiovisual 7.5. I don't really think there was that much going on here, so just a 7.5.
Sweet.
Story got an 8. And I probably say that because you could probably take out a lot of this. And actually, now that I think about it, you can't take out the Suki versus Azula fight, but it does still feels more disconnected from the rest of the show. That
Fair
gets an
enough.
8. Memorable, an 8. This is one of those episodes where I don't have to watch it, but it's for like a good reason. Like it's a great episode, but it's like, I gotta watch Appa's Lost Days again.
My
I
heart's not in
gotta,
the right spot to watch this today.
yeah. So that brings me out to 7.8 out of 10.
I gotta admit, I was surprised. I thought you would think more highly of this one. Personally, I knew the first one. I knew it'd be different, but this one I didn't expect us to be too far off, and we weren't as far off. But audio visual, same thing you said. It's not that there's a ton of exciting stuff going on here. Just a good average, whatever. interesting landscapes, and you get to see a diversity of things, I guess. Story, I thought this is a very good standalone story. It just I don't know, it like a very nice, unique story, but you get a full story out of thing. Has a very sad, disappointing ending, but still a very good, well told, singular story. And then I find this one very memorable too. Not as memorable as the previous one, but when I stop and think about episodes in the entire series that just stand out for various reasons, this is one that comes to mind. Again, maybe not for, like you said, maybe not for like good reasons, more for depressing reasons. But hey, it's got whatever that X factor is that you want to call it. It has it. It's one I think about a lot, and that rounds out to an 8.4. So brings us to an 8.1. Pretty respectable. Probably not as interesting or as divisive as the previous episode, but still very unique in the greater series. In the length of time it covers, subject matter, you're getting a very linear story of just one character. Normally we're fighting, plot A and subplot. When I saw this episode first, I probably didn't have the same sense of time, or like time and dread that you did, so to speak, because I was like just back to back to back, one after the other on DVDs. So I probably didn't have that same sense of dread, but I still remember hitting to this one, and just I don't know if I don't want to say like forgetting about Appa, but you don't expect him to get his own episode. You kind of just expect him to stumble onto him at the very end of some other episode, I guess. You don't expect something like this. So I was very caught off guard. And that was my first experience. Like I said, probably missed some of the drama that you had to put up with, but still caught me, even that being said. And this was the quote that I chose.
Nice.
I really like it. He's like talking to the kids. He's like, it's and seek to restore honor. And then the guy's like, when I'm through with you, they're gonna be much more than. So, I don't remember what he says. And then he like takes
quote,
off. And, like,
so the quote is.
Like
so you actually say it. The quote is, "It is usually best to admit mistakes when they occur, and seek to restore honor, but not this time. Run!"
And then
they do run in like a very comedic,
like Looney Tunes, like the feet moving before the body, kind of.
Yeah.
Or like a Scooby-Doo kind of run. I can't remember what the big guy in the window says, but props to your impression there. 9 out of 10 on the Iroh impression. I appreciate it.
Good, room for improvement.
Well, I mean, there's usually room for improvement, but 9. Hey, you got a higher score than either of these episodes did for me, but not than the first episode did for you. I'm still surprised by that. But they had, for being only out of both these episodes, Iroh's in like 5 minutes maybe, and I had several quotes to choose from, so that was kind of telling. Yeah. But I just keep coming back to, I'm glad we paired these together because they're both so unusual. And after this, we kind of get back on track of not everything as usual, but at least in terms of episode style, I guess, or episode structure. Maybe structure is a better word. So these two are...
Yeah, it's interesting. We forgot to mention in Appa's Lost Days, Appa flies over Iroh, and Iroh sees him, and he kind of makes the like, huh. And then Zuko says, "What is it, Uncle?" And then he says nothing. Because he knows, like, going after the Avatar is not where Zuko needs to be now.
I 1000% forgot about that. Yeah. That is, that's very interesting. Uncle trying to help shape Zuko's destiny with some manual work. Whatever, Zuko, if you really wanted to chase the Avatar, you'd have been watching. So, no, I totally forgot about that. That's very interesting. Other thoughts on these two episodes? Final words of wisdom?
No other thoughts on these two episodes. Real quick, I want to just quickly talk about a little bit of news. Not really news, but the most latest comic book of Avatar came out today. It's called Imbalance Part 3. So it's the end of this Imbalance series, which really started like a whole new comic line, or at least it was a new artist and a new writer for the Avatar comics, and it was actually pretty good. A lot of comics I don't enjoy all that as much as nearly as much as I enjoy the show, because I think a lot of it is just like leftover things that aren't that huge. And this is kind of like that also. But I think they tackle a lot of issues. Specifically, I think they tackle a lot of racial issues in this comic book, and they don't have like a clear answer for it, which I find that interesting, especially in this dynamic because it's like benders versus non-benders. But definitely, I recommend reading Imbalance. Sure, there's Imbalance Part 1, 2, and 3. Like all the other ones, will come out with a big trade paperback. Not trade paperback. It'll be a big form.
My goal is to hit those in between series. So in between Avatar and The Legend of Korra, if we take any kind of, not a break, we'll continue producing something. But if we take a few weeks of doing something different in there, that would be my goal, is to fit those in there. Which brings me sadly to that other point of, I'm going to call it Doomsday, be just around the corner. I think we have 4 more episodes in this season, and I have to make do on my long since made promise of watching the movie. But I think I do have some minor ideas of like maybe live streaming kind of, we can't live stream the movie itself, but we can sort of live stream our reactions and be picking up a little background noise from the movie, add some context via editing or whatever. I'm dreading it / looking forward to it for the sake of comedy, and that's really it. So that's coming up soon. We'll find a date and I'll get over it. But hey, comic, new one, latest issue, out today. That's it for now.
Well, out yesterday because people probably hear it, or whenever. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, it's out when you listen to this. It's out.
Yes,
we can definitively.
I read it.
We can definitively say that. Thanks for joining us. One day early this week, probably back to the usual day next time in 2 weeks, when we will do either 1 or 2 more episodes. I don't know if we've really talked about it yet, before we get to the very big, very excellent finale of book 2, moving way too fast for my taste, but that's okay. Chris, thanks for joining me. I will talk to you in a couple weeks. Everybody else, thank you for listening and for talking to us on Twitter and Facebook. Please keep interacting with us. It's very meaningful. And
we need to get a Facebook.
You need to get a Facebook. Chris, you get on that, okay? What we need to do is get an Instagram and then connect it to a Facebook, so it'll just like auto post across both, and then you can use what's called an applet and have it post to a Twitter as well. We can have like all 3, but just post one time and be kind of lazy, because I'm kind of lazy. But anyways, keep interacting with us. We really appreciate it, and it just feels good to know that people are listening to this. So thanks for watching and listening, and we will talk to you in a couple weeks.